Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Oscar and Tony Award winner Denzel Washington is returning to Broadway in Lorraine Hansberry's classic play, A Raisin in the Sun. Under the direction of Kenny Leon, it will open on April 3rd at the Ethel Barrymore Theatre, and I caught up with the company during a break in rehearsal. Welcome back to Broadway with Raisin in the Sun.
It's good to be back to Broadway and with A Raisin in the Sun.
Tell me what it's been like revisiting this show with this cast and what this means to you.
It has been so exciting to revisit the play. First of all, most people think that it was 4 years ago that we did the production. 10 years. That was 10 years ago. So I hold that production very close to my heart. With Sean Combs and Felicia Rashad and Audra McDonald. That's it right in my heart. We delivered like a different audience to Broadway. That's real special. Felicia Rashad won the Tony in the leading actress category. That hadn't been done by an African American. I was like, what? So that was real special. But, Lorraine Hansberry has the gift that continues to give. It gives and gives and gives. So when you get A Raisin in the Sun, it's like, okay, we have the greatest actor of our generation, Denzel Washington. He's interested in playing the role. He has everything in him to deliver a Walter Lee that we haven't seen before. You have Sophie Okonedo and Anika Noni Rose and LaTanya Jackson, a great cast. But when I sat down with Sidney Poitier in his living room, and he's telling me and Denzel together, like, everything you need is in that play. And everything you need in Walter Lee is in Denzel Washington. That's a blessing. This production has been blessed and touched. That's why I do it. It's like, and I'll honor what we did in 2004, and I'll honor what Sidney Poitier did in 1959. If I find the truth in this production with this group of people, and this group of people would dictate and make it a different production. Denzel has a different sense of humor than Sidney Poitier. Mark Thompson is a different set designer than my last set designer. We're telling it through the music of Miles Davis. And if you live in America and you've been in America for the last 10 years, you know the status of the American dream. So it's like, let's look at what's happened. Had an African-American president. What did that say about the American dream? How did that work out? Are we still learning from that? Trayvon Martin was taken. So what does Travis Younger in this play have to do with Trayvon Martin in 2014? And I think that sitting in this play as Americans, black and white, sitting there together, I think we'll not only learn about our country, but also we'll learn more and more about the greatness of Lorraine Hansberry.
You know what? This is the most overwhelming thing that could have occurred to me. And what I feel is grateful. I am so humbled by what has happened to me, and this gift is manna from heaven.
What has it been like rehearsing this play with this company, especially Denzel?
Watch my eyes. This is the craziest, most heady experience. It's wonderful working with him. This is an amazing company, it doesn't get any better than this. These are all great, and I don't say that word lightly. These are all great actors, and the room is great. Him being the star that he is has set such a tone in the room that we are there to develop. Kenny helps do that too, because Kenny is a great director. Kenny Leon is helming this ship, and we are moving along. So for me, I am happy to be in these kind of hands, because to come in at this juncture and just jump right in, it's not an easy thing to do.
And taking on this beautiful role, what she means to you so far?
First of all, you got to realize that Miss Carol is a friend, and I knew that she was doing the part, so I spoke to her before she even came to start rehearsal. So this was, I had to deal with the emotional level that, of what that was doing to me. But coming into it now and being there, I don't know, I'm still just trying to find my way, because I'm primarily skewing my focus to lines and blocking. So I'm not even sure if I answered the question, but I just know that just came up in my spirit.
No, but that's what this whole process is like in the rehearsal room. It's all about, this is the time to discover.
Yeah, it is discovery, but for me, I'm having to discover like in a minute, because what I need to do right now is try to get all of these lines under my belt and try to get the blacking so I don't slow them down, since they had already started rehearsal. This is an iconic part, and I'm following an iconic group of women from Felicia down who've done this part, and especially Miss Carol.
How excited are you?
Oh man, it's just overwhelming to be a part of this classic and be able to bring it back to a new audience. You know, and anytime you can be in this show particularly, but let alone on Broadway, it's just an extreme blessing, man. Can't describe how overwhelming it is.
Talk about the role.
George Richardson, he is, some people call him snooty, some people call him snobbish. I call him just from a different part of life, different side of life. You know, he's well off, he's a black, well off, and he's coming to, I guess you could say, the other side of the tracks to hook up with Benitha. He has just a different kind of logic, you know.
And what you love about this play and what makes it so timeless?
Just the different things that Lorraine Hansberry was able to bring out throughout the play. It's not just about race, you know. It's about economics. It's about poverty. It's about dreams deferred, and everyone. That alone is transcendent. You know, it's not just a play for African Americans. It's a play for, because we all experience having dreams deferred. You know, and to think that Lorraine Hansberry was 28, 29 years old when she wrote this 60 years ago, and so many issues that she brings up are still relevant today. You know, that's alone makes it timeless and a classic.
When were you first aware of the play, and when did you get to know the play and what it means to you?
Oh, in high school. Yeah, it's one of the first shows that I ever did was in high school, and in my all-black high school. This is back before integration, and so I played Mr. Lindner my sophomore year in high school, freshman year in high school. So and I've been, you know, it's been a part of my life ever since. And you know, you look at the original cast list, and you look at, you know, Lloyd Richards directed it, and I mean, it's a joy to be a part of its history. And we're going to be at the Ethel Barrymore Theatre where it first, you know, ran. So I mean, it's legacy everywhere you look, legacy. Yeah.
Now talk about the role that you play.
Well, the classic, you know, messenger with the bad news, man. You know, I mean, I'm playing the guy who comes and has to deliver unfortunate news. And so that's I don't want to tell too much, because I mean, everybody knows the play. It's a classic. But then again, there are those who don't, you know. So, but that is my role, and my character is the messenger who brings unfortunate news.
You're working with Denzel Washington.
Man, he's a really special guy, great actor. I mean, it's going to be a great experience working with him, like I said, and man, this guy let the days roll.
So what have rehearsals been like so far? Talk about the rehearsal room and creating this role and working with this company.
Well, the rehearsal room has been great. Everyone's there for you. Everyone has your back. I mean, we have a great rehearsal. Everything's flowing very nicely. It's looking like you guys are going to have a lot of fun watching it.
Now talk about the role. I love this play. Talk about the role that you're going to play and what you love about the play itself.
Well, the role I play is Travis Younger. I'm Denzel's son, Walter Lee's son. And, you know, what I love about this play is that it's so relevant even now. And I've done a couple things that take place in the 60s, and it's amazing because in 50 years, so much has changed. So much has changed, but so much has stayed the same. And, you know, it's great. It's a great message out there to some kids and, you know, people who don't know about this kind of stuff.
It is, you can't say enough good things about this play. You know what I mean? It's like Death of a Salesman. It's like, it's about these seemingly small interpersonal events. You know, this isn't going to matter to anyone a block from Willie Loman or from the Youngers. It's only going to matter to them, and it matters. It's everything, you know. And I can't. There, like I said, there are greater minds than mine who can explain why this play is great. It's like silk off a spool.
And this role, it's such a pivotal role, what you play in this show, what you love about him so far.
Well, I like my guy. You know, I have to like my guy. I like my guy because it is a good job to have, to try to play this guy who believes ultimately that he's got a plan that's going to keep everybody happy. You know what I mean? Like, if we go my way, trouble can be avoided. But what he's talking about is the path of least resistance. And the path of least resistance is something most of us do. And not taking the path of least resistance requires courage. And, you know, and so it becomes about courage. It would be nice if I did something heroic in this play, but I don't. You know, I do something quite cowardly. but that's all right. Somebody has to do that so the heroes can, so we can find out what the heroes are made of.
How excited are you to be working on Raisin?
I am super excited to be here. I mean, when they first called me with the opportunity to do this, I thought, you're kidding me, right? Like, you're calling me? Okay, and then when I got the offer to come and join them, it took me a good 3 or 4 days to think, did this really happen? So it's unbelievable.
What's the rehearsal room been like?
It's been fun. It's been great. I mean, sometimes you walk into a situation with this impression of how you think it's going to be, but it's been just like normal rehearsal with just like great actors getting down to the nitty-gritty and doing the work that actors do. And so in that sense, it's kind of comforting and familiar. So, yeah.
Talk about the role that you play.
I play Joseph Asagai. He's one of the suitors for Benitha, and he met her at college, and he's trying to show her another way of thinking and another way of living, and that there's other ways out of here besides just chasing after the dollar. There's bigger ideas.
Tell me what you love about this play. When were you first aware of this, of the impact this play had on you?
I first came across this play in college, and at the time I was studying Shakespeare and all this other stuff, and this to me was just as powerful. The language, there's not a word wasted, and you feel for this family when Walter loses that money. You you never get tired of that feeling of like, oh my God, what are they going to do? Even though you know it's going to happen.
Is this been a childhood dream of yours?
Yes, it really has. I mean, I'm saying it really has. So I just can't believe that I'm here. When I got the part, I was over here for a weekend just by chance, and my agent said, do you want to go and meet for this? And I read it in the morning because I hadn't read it before, because it's not part of the cultural heritage in Britain. So I read it in the morning and said, oh my God, yes. And so I went to go meet Kenny Leon and Scott Rudin. And then by the time I got back to the hotel, I got a phone call saying I got it. And so I was dancing around the hotel room,
room service.
Yeah, yes. I just couldn't believe it. I was started spreading the news. I was really kind of I couldn't believe it. So yeah, and I've been on a high ever since I knew I was going to come and do it. And on top of that, I've got Anika, Denzel, the cast, dream cast, LaTanya. So it couldn't be better. I just hope I can live up to it.
Oh, you will live up to this. Tell me what the rehearsal room has been like.
Intense. It's been really intense, but I expected it to be intense, and I'm not scared of that. In fact, I find this more scary, like press and stuff, because I don't really know how to do this, but I know what I'm doing. When I'm performing, that's what I'm born to do. So I feel at home in rehearsals and on stage. But yeah, it's been nerve-wracking, intense. I came prepared. I'd done a lot of work before I came, because I felt like I had to catch up. I had to catch up to know stuff that they already know about kind of Black history and American Black history and what it might have been like to be living in that time. I felt like I had to they might have learned that at school and I didn't, so I had to kind of catch up a bit.
Well, welcome back to Broadway. How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm so happy to be back on stage, I miss it. It's been 6 years since I've done a full run. I did a lot of stage this summer, which was really invigorating, and I think really made me miss it even more. So I'm glad that the opportunity has come up, and I get to come on back and stomp the boards.
What a way to return. Tell me what this show means to you.
I keep saying this show is my gift to my parents. This was their growing up. This was their time period, and that's when it came to fruition and sort of shook the world of American theater. And I feel like this is my personal gift to them to step into this. And it's it's wonderful when you can do what you love to do. It is your job, but you also get to hand it to somebody else and use it as a gift of love and also a tribute. Yeah.
What a beautiful role. Talk about her so far.
Oh, she's amazing. Benitha is so forward-thinking and intelligent and strong and not to be denied. She is the dream without the deferment. In spite of what is going on and in spite of the things that don't happen and the constraints that society is trying to put on her, she does not allow that to be the defining factor in who she is going to be or how she's going to become that person. And I think it takes a really strong person to be able to do that, and particularly a woman in that time period where, you know, you've got the double whammy. So here you are, black in America, in a time where the civil rights movement hasn't even really kicked in strongly enough to make a difference for you yet. And you're also a woman, and the women's movement is not concerned about you at all. So everything that you do needs to be self-propelled, and hopefully you have around you a support system to make it a little softer, because the going is not easy.
Well, first off, welcome back to Broadway.
Thank you.
With this play, tell me what this play means to you and why you wanted to bring this back.
Well, you know, I've been fortunate to get a chance to interpret August Wilson's work and now Lorraine Hansberry, two of the greatest American, not just African American, but American playwrights. I couldn't pass up the opportunity. Kenny and I obviously had great success with Fences. We started talking about what we wanted to do, and he said, "You need to do Walter Lee." I was like, "Well, you just did it. You want to do it?" He said, "I'll do it again with you." So that's kind of how that happened. We were looking at other plays, but he's like, "No, you need to." Then the more I read it and looked at it, I was like, "Wow. First of all, I better hurry up." And it is a great play and a great role.
And working with Kenny Leon and this company in the rehearsal room, what that's been like for you?
Great actors, you know, LaTanya and Anika Noni Rose, just everybody. Stephen Henderson and I are back together again since Fences, and this young man here. So we're in the middle of the process. This is our fourth week, and that's some of the best times of it. You know, the discovery.
What are you looking forward to the most with returning to Broadway with this play?
You know, just hoping that people enjoy it, hoping that we can interpret it in a way that they like and enjoy. I know we will. I mean, what's happening already. And, you know, I love the theater. It's my first love professionally, and here I am.